Effectively, what you're doing is you're just going from top to bottom in sweeps, from the top of the business to the bottom of the business, and you're just improving the bottlenecks bit by bit and just finding the constraint that exists, the number one constraint that exists each day or each week, and removing that constraint. So next up, we're going to talk about our bottlenecks. Now I'd like you to spend a little bit of time reflecting on what the current bottlenecks are in the business. What are some of the bottlenecks that you are doing right now that you know are stopping the business from succeeding or growing, or basically stopping you from getting more time back for yourself to help support the business's growth? Information blockages due to key decision makers having to give their input. So we can create a process for that. Some of the processes that large organizations would have would be like decision-making trees. You could document a decision-making process. You could set some guidelines around, okay, decisions up to X number of dollars. This is who needs to approve X, Y, Z. And so what we said to our team a while ago was basically, if you've got a problem and you can solve it for less than $100 and you think it's a good idea, just do it. And then the management team had the rule, well, if you've got a problem and you can solve it and it's worth less than $1,000 to solve it, then go ahead, do it. You don't need executive approval for that. And those numbers can be whatever they need to be for your business. It might be $100, it might be $10,000, whatever. But they're the kind of things that you can document, put in a process, and then have others freed to make those kind of decisions if you're a bottleneck for decision making. Systems compliance is important. Probably best to delegate systems compliance to somebody that's not you. I'm saying in general, founders are probably less on the compliance side because we're usually more visionary founder, usually more on the creative side, and better at creating stuff rather than following up and chasing. The process of entrepreneurship and stepping away from your business is basically a process of taking hats off one by one and removing bottlenecks one by one. And so don't think this is the last time you're going to have bottlenecks. You'll always have bottlenecks, but they're just constraints to growth. That's all they are. Effectively, what you're doing is you're just going from top to bottom in sweeps, from the top of the business to the bottom of the business, and you're just improving the bottlenecks bit by bit and just finding the constraint that exists, the number one constraint that exists each day or each week, and removing that constraint. You get from the start of the business right down to the bottom of the business, and then you start again at the top of the business again. And you're just going through removing constraints, removing constraints, removing constraints. So that process of removing constraints, and what that looks like is identifying the constraints, then actually fixing them. And that might be through documentation or creating a process. It might be through changing responsibilities. It might be through taking something off your plate and putting it on somebody else's plate. It might be through training or upskilling part of your team. These are just muscles that you're working. You're just building muscle, building muscle, building muscle, building muscle, building muscle until you are a delegation and systems pro. And you basically want to think of yourself as like the mechanic or the engineer of the business. And your job is to look at the business as a system, with you being like kind of outside the system. And you're there with your screwdriver or your pliers or whatever needs doing to tweak the machine and to have it work better and better and better and better. Now, if that's not fun for you, if that sounds like your idea of hell, because we have different archetypal profiles in the way that we work and different makeup. For some people, they get really excited of being the mechanic of the machine. For some people, they think, oh my God, that's terrible. Great, hire a mechanic. You want to hire someone who will do that for your business because that has to happen for the business to be able to scale. If you like this content, please hit subscribe and hit the bell notification so you can be notified when we go live or drop new content on the channel. Now, if you'd like to connect with us, hit us up on social media or join our free community group. All the links to that are right below this video. If you'd like to learn more about Google Workspace and the technology ecosystem, you can join our free Genius Academy by transferring your billing across to itGenius. Or you can join a Workspace Basics Bootcamp. Now, if you're a business owner and you're interested in an audit on your technology stack or your Workspace account, or you're looking to do a project in the tech world, well, you can take advantage of our free consultation. And if you need help right now, then consider joining Concierge or taking up a quick fix with our team for professional support for your tech stack.